It sparked a fire and actually burnt, like the whole other piece is gone.
Okay.
Oh, okay. We're done now.
We're great. So we are on both. So don't mind Lydia if you. So those of you who are on YouTube, let's re-explain. We have our aerial view with Lydia holding on to the iPad, but she's also going to be obviously involved. And then we have the laptop view. The laptop view is just face to face. Honestly, that's what we can do with it. Sorry, but the aerial view of the iPad, that's what we're gonna. It's gonna be great. So that's fantastic. So what we were saying is we have one of the best chilies. That's what we're calling it, and we'll get the recipe up there shortly. But we have 2 medium onions. This is a repeat. Sorry, Instagram, but I'm pretty sure you're cool with that. We have 2 diced carrots. Wee, on my word. 2 diced carrots. We have all of our ingredients here. We have some beef. We have cloves, kruidnagel. We have a yellow or an orange bell pepper. We have a tomato puree.
Paprika, tomato.
We have peeled tomatoes, garlic powder. Let me see here. Beef bouillon, chili powder, and lentils. And this is part of our 21-day elimination protocol that we're following. And then we'll add things on. Oh, and I forgot the handy dandy pepper and the salt. Can't forget those. Those are delicious. Now we can finally get started, right?
Yay!
Okay, so the point of this and the point of this live is so that way you guys can see what we do. I know that we have all this prepped in already, but I mean, if you go to the Food Network, they already have it prepped, so no big deal, right? Right. So here we go with the onions. We're going to start with sauteing these. We're going to saute the onions in our stew pan. And the reason we're going to use our stew pan, this is going to be kind of bothersome, but this is going to be kind of bothersome for the people who cannot follow me to the stove on YouTube, but I'm going to aim it this way so that way you guys can still see what I'm doing. See? Work it out.
And
Okay.
if you have another device, you can also pull it up on Instagram and see it there.
Yep, cool. But I think this gets the best of both worlds, I think. So, awesome. So we have these onions. I'm going to put it in the pot, and we're going to saute them until they're caramelized. And so with that, what we want is to make sure that we don't burn them. We want to put them on medium-high heat and in a good, heavy-bottom stew pan. And the reason why is so that way you can make sure that they have time to develop flavor and not burn. Because if you put them too high, they're going to burn, but they're not going to develop any flavor. And what's the point of that, right? Right. So here we go over here. With a handy dandy, I've got my coconut oil. You guys can see that
from the Vita door.
Yep, and it's just organic coconut oil. You just want enough to cover the bottom of the pot.
Here's our lovely pot.
I'm gonna throw that on the ground, and then I'm gonna use this spatula here to scrape it out because I actually happen to be at the end of it. That's all right. So I'm going to scrape all of it out. Don't waste money on throwing stuff away if you don't have to. Here I go, turning on the heat. Nice. So the reason we started this 21-day elimination is one, I'm a student of the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute. And in the program, it shows how to find a person's bio-individual diet. And that's why we're doing this. One, for that. And two, it's a weight loss. I'm following a weight loss protocol. And yeah, I lost a lot of weight on keto. There's no doubt about it, guys. I'm not dissing keto at all. I love keto. And I really hope that what I find is that the foods that I'm consuming with keto, which is just, I eat a lot of dairy. A lot of you all don't eat dairy because it's inflammatory, but that's okay. I do. And it does not cause me to be inflamed from what I know. But that's what this is all about. So that way we can figure out if it's causing me to be inflamed or not. But so far, what I found is that I miss it. All of that, but I'm talking, the oil is hot. And what I was getting to the point of is, let me dump this in here. Love onions. One, we're not worried about carbs. Two, we're not worried about calories. Three, We're just enjoying the process, but we are following a specific shopping list to make sure that we are actually getting uh, low inflammatory foods, whatnot. And then after the 21 days, we'll add one food at a time back in to ensure that our bodies can really handle it. If our bodies can handle it, then we keep it. It's a back-to-backer. We let it go for 3 days, well, 2 to 3 days, and then if I find that if we find that we are not bloated or feeling like junk or still feeling great and the weight has not increased because of it, then we keep that on our menu. And if it does, then we write it down as how it affects us. And then we have to decide: are we going to are we going to keep it? Are we going to use it as a sometime situation, or are we just going to knock that thing out? Now I'm going to tell you, all the foods that I eat, I like to eat. And one thing I know for sure is that when I cut out bread, I lose weight. I know. So is it the gluten or is it the grain? I don't know. And you know, there's so many different types of bread. So where do you start? Do you start with the wheat? Do you start with the spelt? Do you start with the barley?
Maybe start with the things that don't have. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know much about bread.
I would start with the type of bread that I eat the most common, which is wheat. I eat wheat the most common, but there's also spelt. There's also barley. There's also those other kind of things. Lots of things that get added in. So I gotta keep that in mind and decide. But these onions are
our own bread without certain things.
Yeah, exactly. So we could make our own bread without certain things, which would be kind of awesome. Sorry, I'm going to use this.
Use what?
I'm going to use this bowl to collect these carrots that I have diced here, so I can start chopping the bell pepper. So here we go. I'm just going to move this out of the way.
Did they hear how many carrots there were?
Yeah, we said we were using 2 medium to large carrots, medium to small. Let me be real. They are a root vegetable, and so on the elimination protocol, you are watching out for the root vegetables. But on the lunch portion, you can have a type of root vegetable, a type.
But we always eat carrots.
Yeah, we always eat carrots. Now, I'm used to the carrots. Even on keto, I'm used to the carrots. That's not safe, is it? So I have this beautiful bell pepper here. I'm used to the carrots because I added it on keto. I know even some of you keto or low carbers probably don't use carrots in your meals. That's okay.
High carb, aren't they?
But not as high as some. But it's because it's a root that they're concerned about, really. But because starch is to glucose, turn into sugar in the body, glucose, and then that, of course, affects your blood sugar. I have to be careful with my blood sugar. We all should be careful with our blood sugar. We should keep our blood sugar stable so that way our hormones are in check. That's why I keep on mentioning diabetes and all those things to you all when I'm on Instagram or I'm on Facebook. Here's my trash bowl. When I'm on Instagram or Facebook, so now I'm gonna dice this up. Because blood sugar is very important and it affects your hormones. I'm going to dice these like chunks. I say dice, but I'm going to cut it in chunks. And the reason why is because you want a bite. You want somewhat of a bite. You don't want everything to be so small that you don't get the pleasure of chewing. Speaking of chewing, we had a delicious breakfast, a smoothie, and our fruit bowl. That's also part of the 21-day elimination protocol for weight loss. Actually, it's for all portions.
And mine tasted like mocha. It wasn't mocha flavored, but it tasted like mocha.
You see, and that's awesome. Mine, I made a bowl for my fruit. Blend my fruit into my smoothie, and it's really good, frozen fruit. But I wanted to chew today, and sometimes you just want to chew. Sometimes you don't want to just drink. Now, the part about the smoothie or the shake rather, is that you're supposed to consume it over a period of an hour. And this is to stabilize the blood sugar. So we're talking spinach or any other leafy green that you want to add in, like kale. Kale is kind of hard to digest. I would say not kale. but there's also other greens. If you're spinach, but spinach is what I said, I think.
Oh, I was listening. Sorry.
Yeah, I hope you guys are listening. But you just want to add so a neutral flavored green into your smoothie. And spinach, I find, is very neutral. And then 1 tablespoon of fat. 1 tablespoon of fat you want to add. I use sometimes nuts, but a lot of the time, because they're quite fatty, you can use avocado oil. You can use coconut oil. I use suggestions for coconut cream. I need to get back to the stove and stir that pot. Stir it. Okay, stir the onions. Yep, they're starting to get a little bit of color. Just a little.
Yeah.
Not much.
Ooh, guys, you're missing out.
Yeah, you're missing out over there. Sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. I really wish there were. But we try to get you to do this live on our mobiles, but it wouldn't let us for some reason.
The mobile YouTube live is ineligible.
We're ineligible. What does that mean? We need more subscribers, I guess.
Yeah, I'll probably have to look into the terms and conditions and see what's going on.
Yeah, just like when we try to do some other things, it requires more subscribers before you can actually do it. Like the pictures and when you all know what's happening, that happens too.
Via YouTube.
Yeah. Now Instagram is really easy. Thank you, Instagram. I appreciate that in a lot of regards, in which you don't have to stress out about that kind of stuff. Now, because these are caramelizing a little bit, they're not the brown that I want, but they are brown enough for me to start with the carrots, because the carrots also need to cook a little bit. So we're gonna add the carrots in.
Yummy.
So we have these all nice and diced. We're gonna add these in.
That's a nice shirt you're wearing.
Thank you very much. I like gold.
Looks good on you.
What is the oh, you probably don't know this fable. It was a fable that I used to straw into gold, straw into gold.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, Rumpelstiltskin. Oh.
Oh yeah, if you guys like Rumpelstiltskin, you should watch Once Upon a Time. It's hilarious.
Oh my word, yes. Once Upon a Time. I love Once Upon a Time. You can find it on Netflix, right?
Yes, Netflix. You can also go to illegal sites, whatever you choose.
We'll keep it legal, but Netflix, illegal. So, if you're enjoying this so far, throw some comments our way.
Oh, yeah. It's also on channels. I think on certain channels. On ABC, I want to say.
Oh, yeah, I think that's where it started. Okay, so now that I've got that, we're going to do this. I'm going to separate this portion of meat because, honestly, it's unhealthy to leave meat out and decrease get to room temperature. So I'm going to move this. I'm just going to separate a portion of this meat into this bowl, which I had the onion in. I have no more chopping to do. So this is beef. This is ground beef. What you want is organic or grass-fed meat. If you can't find it for whatever reason, then you need to do the best that you can do.
What are the benefits of grass-fed?
The benefits of grass-fed meat, mainly and most importantly, is that the hormones are not altered by the beef eating modified foods, things that they're not supposed to be eating. They need to be grass-fed and grass-finished, these animals, because then it usually ensures that they're also well taken care of, properly taken care of, not mishandled, not misused or abused.
We love animals.
That, and then also they're not eating Skittles. So if you're not eating Skittles, because that's the thing, they actually
eat Skittles.
They feed them Skittles.
Lucky cows.
Yeah, lucky cows. The poor diabetic cows. So they're over there feeding them Skittles and all kinds of other bad things that